So we are back for another episode of Cheers and Lime with myself, DJ Laura Lee.
And me, Jada Pink.
And we have a special guest. You can see him pouring himself a drink already. Fools. This is the one and only Site Influential. I see you smiling. This is the guys. If you don't know who this is, you're lacking. I can't lie. You are lacking. This is Site Influential.
Hi, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be on your platform. Big up on yourself, you know. We are pour the liquor and we are feel nice, and we have to hide the liquor because we don't have the
branding.
The branding is
deal yet. So I have to hide the liquor, you see me. But big up. It's a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure to speak on someone else's podcast. I feel like I haven't done that in ages.
You've got so many things.
So much,
yes. Using it straight away. So
exactly.
Tell us about yourself. We know that your hand is in many pots.
Right.
Tell us a bit about you.
Man of many talents.
Sir Influential is the list long now, Lord God. So I'm a host, brand manager, presenter, DJ, and we can say model now. Yeah. And events curator or whatever the word is. Let me say events curator. I do a lot of things for the culture, for the love of the people, and it's only right. So if I'm not in a party telling you to jump and wave and whine or to give us your best energy, I am presenting talks with Success with Soca about, you know, using the soca music and the Caribbean culture to better improve the diversity and inclusion in the workforce. So big up Success with Soca. If I'm not doing that, I do my own podcast. Shouts out to Flags 365, the whole Flags team. Big up, you know, the whole team. And if not that, we're outside with the party, them Flag Sound, Magical, Holy G, Limsey D. And I do my own events. Bacchanal and brushes.
Yeah. You might see a girl there.
Yes.
And I do Pretty on Purpose, which was meant to happen last year, but COVID come and yam that. And then I have another something coming, which I'm not going to disclose yet. I'm just working on it. And I model. Big up the No Signal team. We get my first proper model opportunity. Big up the whole Dice, everybody. Big up Tiara Birds, George, everybody. So yeah, with all of the things, we work hard, we push the culture, we push the envelope, and we include everybody in the Afro-Caribbean space. So as long as you love music from that culture, that sphere, you're welcome here.
Yes, we love it.
So, DJ, events curator, everything new and popping.
Yes.
2021 Soca.
2021 Soca.
Do you have a favorite song,
Tell us,
favorite
DJ.
rhythm? What are you feeling?
Right now, my favorite song right now for the 2021 season is definitely there's quite a few songs. Obviously, big up Classic Fresco Bar with Too Much, featuring Marsville. Classic is my brother from a long time. Again, pushed him out from early. Send the music. I said, bro, keep going. Keep doing it. It's nice. UK wise, big up Batch with the Tun rhythm and everybody on that rhythm. It's gonna be crazy. Big up It's Ray with the Sweetest Wine. Big up that. Have to. Big up Wetty Beats with the Tingo Nice again, the SVG edition, because obviously we know what's going on. Civic and the Grenadines. Shouts out to the whole Help SVG UK team. Shouts out to the AC Store UK team, which, you know, we've done a lot of great work over the last 8 weeks, just getting the containers ready, getting it out there, being a donation point. What else is there for 2020 Soca, or 2021? I think that's it for me for 2021. If I talk about 2020, Voice by Any Means.
Yep.
Yeah.
Voice by Any Means, for sure. And, of course, we're in the UK, so we have to endorse the UK talent. Trini Boy Juicy, Wetty Beats with Bottle Overhead,
Ding, ding, ding,
2 million views.
Ding, ding, ding,
Yeah.
ding, ding.
Yo, Trini Boy, if you're watching this, brother, big up Wetty. Dem Vinci Management, big up. It's brilliant to see. That's what I'm saying for the songs. Yeah, the people them out there, they're working.
What was yours again? I can't remember.
Mine was Bungie Garland, All Houses Road.
Okay.
That and obviously it's got to be Happy Place and Backyard Jam. Like, do you know what's his name? Just brought out a tune recently, Jab King. He just brought out a tune.
Jam?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been waiting for the new Jab. I've been waiting for new Jab.
I'm not gonna lie, a couple rhythms just dropped, and I'm just like,
yeah. I'm excited now.
I'm ready for summer.
Yeah,
even though it might get locked off, but I'm still ready.
I'm ready.
So what are your songs that you're loving for 2021?
So the rhythm that just dropped, I think it's called Mischief Rhythm. I was feeling that. I think Problem Child had my favorite song on that rhythm, but overall, Wetty Beats, Super Saiyan Rhythm. Wow.
Oh yeah,
that got me hyped.
Don't you like back up?
Yeah,
yeah. Big up boys. I forgot that one
was sweet in me for time.
Hold on, stop. I forgot. I have to add somebody else in. I have to add in another woman.
Oh,
Patrice Roberts, Tender. Woo!
Oh,
and
that's
Melly Rose on the same rhythm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, after because a lot of times when you hear people talk about soca and their favorite songs, they hardly mention the women. And women have been putting in the work, so I have to endorse and support and uplift women and make them loud. So again, going back to 2020, I have to big up Fayon with Dive.
Oh.
I have to big up Fayon with Dive. That Tech Trinity Carnival 2020.
Shout out my friend Renee who dived. We went to Trinidad and she dived in the crowd and got flung up and down. That tune and the other and Bungie Garland's version too. That's what I'm waiting for. I feel like 2021 with the soca.
We're still hotting up.
I feel like more tunes are gonna get released more towards the end of the year. We're still warming up. So like on that note, I mean, we're all hurt. Everyone that's in the culture right now, we're all hurting.
With the Notting Hill.
I was gonna say. I think you know what I'm gonna be talking about.
But there's a lot of things that we're hurting though. So we say Notting Hill first.
Well, Notting Hill first, yes. That's like the main bulk.
Yeah, at this time, I think that's the most recent blow that we've had.
Yes.
Okay. Why is everybody hurt though? Did you really think you were getting to the Carnival?
You want to go first?
Well, I'm just gonna quickly say I knew it wasn't gonna. We all knew it wasn't gonna happen. It's just more. I think it's just seeing it officially. It's just like, okay, but yeah, I knew it was gonna happen. But I just think for everyone in the culture and a diaspora right now.
What about you, Laura?
I wasn't expecting it to happen, and I'm happy there's events going on during summer. I'll be at Dreamland / Wonderland. I'll be at Jam Juve. I'll be there. But I just thought maybe there would be something. Like I know there's going to be the online carnival again, but I just thought maybe a more exclusive event or like something might happen. There's still time. Something might. Because I know there's going to be a can.
The panorama display.
Yeah.
That's fine because you can social distance that. That's cool.
Yeah.
So how would you have logistically done Carnival this year?
Boy, I have not got a clue. I knew at a point people were talking about, well, I don't know how they would manage it, but they were talking about just doing the road and no side streets.
So just Ladbroke Grove.
Yeah. But again,
that would not be possible.
Like, how do you stop outside people from coming if you're not with a t-shirt or wearing a costume? Like, how do you tell people, no, you can't get on the train and get off at this stop and come here? Like,
in the ideal world, that would be great, won't it? Though,
in the ideal world, you would just have the parade, the costume, t-shirt, whatever you wear or feel comfortable in, and that's it. And you have a little bit of control over the numbers because you know who's bought a ticket, But
so you do it like Miami Carnival where it's in an enclosed environment.
Yeah, something like that.
You have to pay to come in, and you only see the spectators or the stormers, whichever term you want to use, at the end. Which is
something more
just before judging point or just after judging point.
Yeah.
You can do it like that. When I was speaking to people about if Carnival goes ahead, I said Sunday, no kids. Because you have to think of their safety and the mass of people that will be coming and the energy that they'll be bringing. It wouldn't be safe for kids. And plus, if it's as hot as it was 2019, no kids for sure. So let's just take the kids out. So no kids. They can watch it online. It will be limited numbers of bands. So there will be a set amount of bands on the road anyway because a lot of bands would have pulled out. There's just dirty mass on the Sunday. So you're just in t-shirt or you can wear your leotard, sexy jab, whichever you want to call it. Trinidad's version of Monday wear. And then Monday would be again the same bands. You can wear your costume this time. You can get one if you've already paid for your costume. and the band has your costume ready, you can wear it, or you can wear one from a previous year, or you can make your own and bring it. And if you're not assigned to any one particular band costume wise, you just buy a wristband that allows you to follow that band, and you just get drinks and food. And then there'll probably be still security, yes. And then you could literally do it. You could lock off either side of Ladbroke Grove, Holland Park side and Kensal Rise side, and say if you can't prove that you live here, you can't come in. But it's just the reason why it won't happen is because people don't want to spend the money to put the fencing in place like they did years ago, because somebody had an accident with the fencing and they were severely hurt, and I believe it was just a long process. So for health and safety reasons, from their angle, the council's angle, it's no fencing, stewards, rope, but realistically Notting Hill Carnival needs the fencing, and we'll see what happens. So that's how I would envisage it and how I would do it. So 5 bands, or 5 to 10 bands, everybody follows a band, all have a good time. We don't need judging point, just do it, and you can start anywhere along Ladbroke Grove before the Sainsbury's, and then you go up, you go round the roundabout and come back down. You don't even need to go down
Kensal Road.
Down Kensal Road.
Yeah.
But if you want to, you could, but you don't need to.
Yeah. That would be
Hopefully
ideal.
we get something for next year.
It's not a shock. It's just like, okay, cool. Another year. And for me personally, I've already written off the next 2 years from now. So I'm not hoping for Carnival next year. I'm not hoping for Carnival 2023. 2024 now, then I can start shed eye water somewhere.
Right.
I already have my drum. I already have my thing ready. Just like last year, I just take up my drum, walk around my block, beat my drum. Dirty Corona, sticking Corona, Carnival can't stop. Boom, boom, boom. Beat my drum for 10 minutes. Come back in my house, sit down, relax, beat my drum again. That's Carnival, because that's the essence of it.
I'll come with my pan round neck.
There we go.
Right. That's the
there
essence. Carnival is where you make it. It's not going to Notting Hill. Not saying that it must be moved from Notting Hill, because I know that's what some people are going to say next. No. It's not.
I know that's coming.
We don't want it moved. We want it to, the significance, and those who move into the area because of refurbishment and gentrification should understand the history of the area.
Yep.
And when they walk past certain statues and images, they must understand why these are here and what is happening here. You're not moving into a brand new village. You're moving into a history from before.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And even myself living in Notting Hill, or like Portobello Road, whatever you want to call it, Carnival and seeing that Caribbean essence, it's like, it's the best thing for the area. Because like you said, gentrification, it's all just, it's just whitewashed. And there's no culture anymore. So I feel like, and Notting Hill and those areas were so pinnacle for Caribbean people, like when they came over and stuff. But it's just been washed out. So that little 2 days, or even 3 days, because like Tabernacle's always doing something, it's panorama kind of thing. You feel like, like you feel like your ancestors, or it feels like my great grandma, her essence is there because that's what they were doing when they came here. But so for them to move it to somewhere else, unless it was somewhere, I feel like somewhere like Brixton, then there should nowhere else should be Notting Hill Carnival, if that makes sense. Well, it's called Notting Hill Carnival. But yeah, I definitely think, and the government and the council are probably so happy right now.
They are rubbing their hands with
two years in a row. Yeah,
they have been wanting.
Why would they rub their hands?
Because I feel like
they've been trying to write off Carnival for years.
Them trying to write off, I think
they've been trying to get rid of it for ages. All the little estates as well and stuff in my area, I've been trying to petition. Like, we've been petitioning to keep it. They've been trying to take it off. And as I said, all these new people that come from, like, all these white people that live in Surrey who decide to move to Notting Hill Gate. When you buy a house, it tells you get an itinerary about the area. And one of those things will say Notting Hill Carnival is here every bank holiday weekend in August. But you want to come and complain. So things like that, I'm just like, they are probably quite happy. But
for 2 days out of the year, there's no paint on your car and you're happy.
Yeah.
Sounds like a sad life.
But you know what I always say as well sometimes? When you go to other Caribbean islands for their carnivals, or if you go America, Notting Hill Carnival is just like one stop, if that makes sense. If you just go to Notting Hill Carnival, then it feels like everything is like there's no carnival. But if you're traveling to Trinidad in February, or if you're going Miami in October or whatever, you know that like not there being no Notting Hill, or if Notting Hill went, you've got others basically.
No, that's a fair statement to make for some people, but then that's a it's almost like a disregard of Notting Hill Carnival.
No. What I mean is like sometimes it's like if you travel to different ones, basically, you just get a whole experience of Carnival throughout the year. Whereas if you just go to one Notting Hill, I think like because you just go to that one, when it's done, like for example, okay, cool. When I went to Trinidad, for example, I went to Trinidad last year, February. I didn't, even though we didn't have a carnival last August, there's something about it that didn't feel too bad because I already had a carnival at the beginning of the year.
Yes,
then if you know, cool, I'm going to be going to St. Lucia in June and then Notting Hill in August. If Notting Hill wasn't about, it's like, fine, I went to others as well. Or, you know, you've had a good experience of carnival all year round rather than it just everyone gearing up for Notting Hill kind of thing, which is not everyone has the luxury and can afford to just fly to different islands for carnivals, and we live in London, so of course you're going to go to your London one. But I always say to people, experience the ones in the other islands and countries as well, because it won't feel like the be all and end all if there's no Notting Hill Carnival, because you've got others to experience.
Do you know how many carnivals are in London alone?
Who remembers? Anyone remember Tottenham Carnival? Who goes that far back? Tottenham Carnival, that was like the driest little parade, but I was just like, you know what? Tottenham's got something carnival related, because me growing up, I spoke about this on our first episode. I got into the carnival scene via Pan. So anywhere that Pan was, which is basically what Tottenham Carnival was, it was like a little Pan parade. I was like, okay, well this is my culture, like this is me connecting. So I get both points of like, okay, yeah, if Notting Hill didn't happen, there's other carnivals. But me, I haven't flown out. And the only other opportunity I had to fly out, because money-wise and job-wise, it was just looking long, was again through Pan. Like Trinidad Panorama was like, okay, we saw you guys do London Panorama, come over. And then that was going to be my route into carnivals. So some people have like different connections to their carnivals and what it means to them. And it's like a whole,
That's right.
especially in the Pan community, it's not even that weekend. It's the whole like 2 months before.
Because you're
like,
preparing and you're participating, and it's a big thing. So it's funny to still watch on social media the people who, I like to say it, and I said this 2 years ago as well. There is, in the UK and especially in London, there is this soca lovers, and then there are the carnival lovers. So there are people that like and love carnival and what it is now being glamorized as. And then there are the soca lovers who are quote unquote like the purists. So people that listen to soca every day, they have reason to enjoy soca. They have their songs for the reasons they know. This one is jab, this one is this one is that. It's not as, oh yeah, it's a song I like the rhythm. And they would go to carnival even if there's no costume. Whereas there's the carnival lovers who all they want to be is looking sexy in a nice costume, have some rum punch in their hand, take some pictures, jiggle the bum bum, and then they're good.
Which one are you, Laura?
I would say I'm more on the soca side. I don't do costume. The only time I thought about costume is when I thought I was going to another carnival. I don't know why, but something about Notting Hill, I'm just like, I don't want to be half naked in these streets, not in these streets. Like, but yeah, more of a soca lover type of thing. Like, again, like I was saying before, the whole like months leading up to it, I'm in the zone. Like, carnival is like a little add-on even for me, because really and truly, Panorama is the climax for a lot of us. I know you probably know a lot of the Ebony crew, like Prince Vern and like all of them. Like, Panorama is our highlight for us. And then literally straight from we pack our pans, go on the road for Juve. Like, it's so that's like what I look forward to. It's not necessarily about the costume, and like I don't even think I've got pictures of myself at Carnival because my phone is not even, everything's safe, everything's packed away. I'm just there vibing with my people in the zone. See this person on the road, run out quickly, try and get back in before the band's gone. Like,
that's another thing actually you saying about costume as well, and Notting Hill Carnival. We said this in the last episode. Being a lady is hard. It's hard because like you said, you see how you said there's soca lovers and there's carnival lovers. For example, Notting Hill, there's also people who come to Carnival, like who are none, who just, every day, and they just don't respect us as women enough, or they just see bum, tits, body, I can touch, I can grab. And I find that at Notting Hill the most, because I think there's the biggest mix of people that come. Compared to when I went to Trinidad, for example, respectful. People come and try and dance with you and but it's not as grabby, and it's not as, because everyone's just there to, everyone's half naked, everyone's just dance together. Notting Hill, like you said before, is seedy, and I think it doesn't make you, I don't personally get as excited to wear costume in Notting Hill as I do maybe if I went to another country, because it's like, oh, I feel a bit insecure because I don't want no guy, which I've experienced so many times at Carnival, grabbing you, touching you, biting your boob, and it's like, okay, we all want to, you know, have a little dance up or something with someone, but you don't have to almost like go a bit, you know, a bit too sexually, because it just makes it, and then it's all squashed and you can't show your costume, and it's a bit much.
Carnival is not squashed. Because Trinidad squashed.
But I found that when I went to Trinidad, I don't know why, I just found there was more space. Maybe because in Notting Hill they lock off so much roads.
Yeah, the roads are wider in Trinidad anyway.
Yeah, and they lock off so much roads in Notting Hill, where I remember years ago there was way more space. You can walk and do this and do that, whereas Trinidad there was more back streets, everything was a little bit more open. Obviously when you get down the main strip road, that's packed, but you know, that's fine. Notting Hill, oh my gosh, when 2019, it was hot, it was stuffy, people was getting crushed. It was too much, because I think every year they lock off more and more roads, so then it just gets more and more full and packed. But yeah,
so to divert slightly, because you know a lot, like you're spitting facts right now, I have to just ask, how did you get into the scene? Yeah, I have to ask.
I should have mentioned that at the start, to be fair, so thank you. But before we do that quickly, just to touch on your statements, the panorama as well, I want to highlight, people, Carnival is not just 2 days in the UK. A lot of you want to see on Twitter like to think whenever you say Carnival, it says there's 3 days of Carnival, you guys forget about panorama. You need to remember panorama. I myself haven't had the opportunity to go to a panorama, but I'm very aware of it. I know Ebony, I know Mangrove, Endurance Steel Band Crew, Endurance Steel Band Orchestra. Let me not add the crew to make it correct. And I appreciate that, and I understand the significance of that. Someone like me, who is a researcher, who is a person that appreciates the culture, I'm going to research and find out about everything properly. And the person who brought me to Carnival in Notting Hill was my mom's friend, who's Trini. Mm-hmm. So I've come to this country, July the 1st, 2001, from Jamaica. Jamaica has had Carnival all this time too. It's not since Jamaica and Exodus that Jamaica have Carnival. My mother was going to Carnival in the same UWI Carnival circle back in the 60s and 70s and 80s. Sorry, 70s and 80s, yeah? Cool. So, my mom's friend's Trini, she said, come to Carnival. I'm a little boy. Go to Trini Corner right there. So just after the fire brigade on the left, Trini Corner right there. Small, influential, little influential, looking up at these women that are like 5'10", 5'11", 6 foot. And those were the days, it's early 2000, so this is 2002, 2003. Women is wearing like knee-high boots and the crotch leggings, so the leggings with the little diamond pattern and batty right about leather. Whole heap of leather. That was leather time. That was leather year. Like everybody's in leather. Leather. And then she took me around. You got Bajan corner, you see Guyanese corner, Grenada corner. And she's like, all right, cool. We're going to go around to the back roads now. Right, so you hear the sound systems now. Hey, man, you can take a look at dance. Wow, I can take a dance. Perfect. Get a look at one wine off of one girl. Good. Come back now. All right, cool. Let's go. So that is my introduction into Notting Hill. And then there used to be a little mini parade on my estate. And big up this lady. I can never remember her name. God forgive me. White lady with ginger hair. She was a part of South Connections. Big up my South Connection. So that's how long I've been doing Carnival. South Connection was the first band I went with. And that's where I met Vern and everybody, Roy, everybody like that. So big up everybody from South Connection days too. She said, yes, you have the energy for Carnival. You should play mass. Because I like jumping up and I'm excited. Yeah. And then on my estate, it was called Junkuno. Right. So there's that, come under the Junkuno parade. So when everybody was excited for Halloween, me too, but there's Junkuno parade. And we're making the little the mask and the costumes in the play center, and then you're wearing them, you're carrying it on your shoulder like this, and my estate has a little route that you can go around the play center. So we literally go around that route and come back and everybody's home by like 8:39. Yeah, and my mom can't see me come home. So that was my introduction into playing mass. And then as I've gotten older now, and then going to secondary school, my friends are all from different Caribbean countries. So I've met somebody from Montserrat. I've met somebody from Barbados. I've met somebody from Grenada. I've met somebody from Africa. I've met somebody here. And then everybody is talking about their culture. And being born in Jamaica and growing up in Jamaica and coming here, you are aware of these different islands, but now you're meeting people from there. And you're like, okay, cool, that's nice. And then I had a stepbrother who passed away. He's from Canada. And his mother is Bajan. So when he passed, I went to go and visit his mother and his sister. Sister's a diehard soca fan. And that was the year, this is 2007, so that's my first international carnival, Caribana and Montreal Carnival, where Destra is touring Quebec. So the sister is playing Destra every single day from she wake up and before she go to work, Destra. When she come home, Destra. So the only time I get outside of soca is when she's not there. And that is the same year, to show you the history of things, when Drake and Trey Songz released Replacement Girl.
Oh, wow.
Right. So that's how long I've been listening to soca and learning it and saying, nah, this good and BBM and learn this song. And then I remember going to college, and meeting more people who like soca. And then I meet African people who like soca now. And it's like, rotted. Then that's when 30 seconds are walking up. 30 seconds are walking up. Then behind the truck, I done. That was the biggest song going on BBM. You ping, that song out. So from then you get into the soca and you're learning and you're still doing the carnival. And them days, I couldn't go carnival by myself. My mom said, you're mad? My big brother had to take me. So my big brother now, who you're not really into the soca heavy like that. He would do 1 and 2 calypso, 1 and 2 soca tune, and then we'll go to Rampage. And then when Rampage get too intense now, I'm saying, all right, come, this is too intense now. We're going back to the mass bands now, and then you're gonna just chip behind the truck. This was the days now where that was the routine. You come into Carnival, you find 1 and 2 truck, then you go to the sound system, and then when the sound system get too hectic now, by this time it's like 6, 7, you come back to catch the bands as they're winding down along Ladbroke Grove, and that's when you get the nice soca and everybody alright, and then you just find your way home. So that is my introduction into Carnival, into Nottingham. And then as a music lover, as a person of culture, I would sit down and I would research, and my mom would tell me, ask Auntie Stephanie about Trinidad, ask her about this, your dad's with the Trinidad, I like Calypso. My mom would play Kitchener and Sparrow and all these people, and when she ready, she just all day. And Calypso, my mother, so Jamaicans like Calypso. Yeah. Don't get it twisted, people. Jamaicans like Calypso. And obviously, that's what we grew up on, because it's a reggae and Calypso that was neck and neck. That is the sound of the Caribbean at the time. Remember, from years ago, Sparrow is coming here and performing on the Windrush. So you have to remember these things and know the history. And this is what, especially what the men need to do. The men need to research the history, because if they were researching the history now, you wouldn't get the groping, you wouldn't get the over-sexualization. And then to touch on that now, I feel that the costumes have a role to play in that, because as Trinidad has become more skimpy with the costume, which is the Brazilian effect on Trinidad, and then it's now spiraling out into the rest of the diaspora, it's like, hold on, the costume getting skimpier and skimpier and skimpier, but then it's like the rise in the gropiness is getting more. So it's, how do you tell somebody that is watching 30 seconds to a minute of your culture, and you're just jiggling your bum bum in the same bikini that you'd wear on the beach, but it's just painted gold or it's painted black and it's got beads and things on it, that this is not the same thing. But it's a schooling, it's a teaching, and it's a constant thing. Because that we need to do.
Just to say as well, sometimes when you ask other cultures about Caribbean culture and carnival, that's all that comes out their mouth. They just think we're all daggering. Half naked girl, let's just dagger, let's just grab a wine. There's no actual respect and knowledge of the culture and carnival, and just respect overall. And it is like you said, how can we change that narrative and educate people that we're not just batty, that you could just come to and just grab and grope and just dagger and go about your business.
Exactly.
Like, it's fun,
Even before, when we were talking about jab, and then I said that somebody came to me and was like, oh, but isn't that like devil worshipping because you're wearing horns? And I just looked at them like, you didn't even do a quick Google before you even said that. Like, I was just flabbergasted. I was just like, the Caribbean has probably the most churches. Like, Christianity is gone in the Caribbean, and then you're gonna come here and say, oh yeah, you lot are devil worshipping. Like, I was just flawed. Like, people don't even, that's what it is. They just look and they're like, okay, so I see bum, I see paint and oil and horns,
But guess
so it
what?
must be something wild.
There are not enough platforms that teach the history of it. There are mostly platforms that just show you the color, the vibe, and they want your money to come and enjoy the vibe.
Capitalize off
So we
it.
need the cultures, the people from the culture and of the culture to teach the history, to take moments like this, to come on platforms like this, to speak on the history of it and the reverence. Notice what I said about what I did last year for nothing when it happened. I take up my drum, I walk around my block, and I beat my drum, and I go back in my yard, and I'm content. That is Carnival.
Yeah.
You need to understand why you have the carnivals. And every island has the carnivals for the same reason, but you need to know the reason why. Who are the national heroes? Who were the people that was abolishing slavery? What is this hero's name in Barbados, in Guyana, in Jamaica, in Trinidad? Why do you have the Cambodia riots, which is what starts the carnival? That is why you have Carnival. But you need to research and appreciate the history and the reverence. If you come to Carnival with a state of reverence, that's why 2019 I did it as a year of no alcohol. Because I realized, but because I'm getting old, as I've gotten older, I realized that, hold on, this is just a street party and it's more than that. And because I've had the privilege of speaking to the older generation, speaking to the Trinis that are my generation, that are interested in the passion and the history of it, and not just seeing it fetishized. Pardon me if I said that wrong. And just, it's not a street party. This is a moment of reverence. And do you know why you have Notting Hill Carnival in the first place? Who passed away? And why did Kelso pass away? Why was he murdered? Why do we have this parade now in reverence that started in St. Pancras and then moved to Notting Hill? What was happening in Notting Hill for it to be placed here? Why was it not placed in Tottenham or in Hackney or in Walthamstow? Why here? What's happening? The history of mangrove, the reason why you have the mangrove sword, the mangrove steel band, and all the history that led to that, the mangrove 5. It's all these things we need to be teaching people on a regular basis, and we need to have courses. So shouts out my friend Ebony who invited me to her school when she was still working here in the UK to come and speak to the young children about Carnival and say, no, this is why you have it. This is why you have it. This is the history. And let us not forget the Africanness to it, because a lot of us now seem to just want to teach it as it's an Afro-Caribbean expression. You have the jab coming from the Igbo aspect of Nigeria, and you need to know how to tie in the two, and then how does that relate to all the other countries? And you say, okay, cool, why do you wear the horns? Because you're creating an image to scare the slave master, because he was that thing to you, he was that devil to you, but you're now the devil to him. Right.
That's really,
So it's a moment to please. That's my main message here, is I need everybody to take a moment to research reverence. Like, for example, when I'm at work, I've been at jobs where when they check my search history, they're like, why is this guy sitting on there researching all these carnivals? Aruba Carnival, Carousel Carnival, this carnival, that carnival. Why they have the parades? So they have the different pageants, and then there's a big parade. Some people don't even know that there's king and queen mass and costume, and there used to be that for Notting Hill back in the day. We had the big queen costume, and they make it in Kensington Olympia, and listen, there's a lot of the history that is now put aside, and we need, and that's why now you're seeing the older people come back into the carnival because they don't recognize it.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm already seeing, that in 20 years' time, I won't recognize it because it's going to be so far gone, and there's nobody taking the time to say, or there's not enough of us taking the time to say, hold on, here's the education. Before you jump up and wave, before you drink your rum, we're paying reverence. Just like how we can stop and we can give reverence to Grenfell, we need to stop and say, hey, we give reverence for Kelso, reverence for this, reverence for that. Miss Claudia, who started the whole thing. You need to understand why. And if more and more people did that, then you'd understand that. Even with Jab Jab, why do you celebrate Jab Jab? People only, oil and don't let the music videos trick you because that's just a moment. Because the Grenadians know why they do Jab. The Grenadians know why they do Jab. And it's not just a matter of them getting some old oil and putting a snake in the mouth or a piece of work. And why are there no more snakes allowed? Why they can't use the old oil anymore? Because it's bad for the environment. But there's things you need to research. If you take a reverent approach to it, a significant an appreciation of it, like that, say, hold on. For example, you're going to St. Lucia Carnival. Why do they have their carnival? Why do they have it? Who are the national heroes? What is this? You have the carnival out of a civil rights movement. Why? What is happening on the island to cause this, and what are you celebrating? Because a lot of people, and you find it's mostly for people who are coming from the culture. So, because I like to say there's from the culture and of the culture. So people that are not, for example, not Caribbean or not African, they are somewhere else, but they like the culture and they've been embraced by the culture. They always say Carnival is freedom of expression. Freedom from what?
Yeah, oh God.
Don't forget the rest of it. It's freedom from slavery. But they like to cut off that bit because it gives them the amplitude to use it as they please. It's freedom from slavery. It's freedom of emancipation. It's emancipation. What are you emancipated from? Not your everyday struggles. Your struggles are it's not that. So you must respect that. And when you come into this space, know that because you're not from this essence, you are still a guest. Yes, you might contribute to it. Yes, you might do a great work of contributing, but you're still a guest, and your position, you should always be humbled and want to stay as a guest and give value same way. So there's a lot of things to take on board and to appreciate and to reflect on. And that's why it's important that we have these moments. Because even last year when I see the people on the timeline, how many of you actually stop and remember your ancestors when you're playing job? Some people say yes they do, and some people say, oh no, I don't. And I know for a fact some people that said yes actually don't. You don't, because I see you. Because I'm on the mic telling you what to do. You're not remembering your ancestors then. You're remembering how to jiggle and jam and jump and wave and pour oil and pour paint and drink, and you're thinking about, I need some water and I need some food to eat. You're not remembering your ancestors then. But that's why you have the chanting. That's why you have the chanting. And that's why the jab music is different. Because the jab music is the chant and it's the march. And it remembers the struggles of the ancestors. And that's why they wear the black oil, because of the ancestors being boiled in the molasses and coming out black like tar and them skin burn. And we don't get too deep into the history because the podcast limited, but there's so much.
So you have your hand in many pots and you're doing your part to spread all your knowledge, which is so, I feel like more people need to be doing this. But just for you personally, obviously you've got, I think is the biggest one you're doing right now is No Signal, or is there a TV thing that you want to get into, or like what's the end goal for you personally? Do you want like
the end goal for me personally,
or your biggest aspiration at the moment? Because obviously you're on radio, you're already podcasting. What's the next?
Got your events.
Steps? Yeah, you got your events.
Oh, the biggest thing for me is to see Africans on the diaspora, across the entire diaspora, across the entire span of the continent of Africa, love and appreciate soca, like how they love and appreciate reggae, like how they love and appreciate dancehall, like how now they've taken Amapiano and they've run with it from the South Africa right up come to the top. And I love Amapiano. I love it. And I want to see, that's the next step I want to see for soca and what I want to contribute. Years ago I said, the next step now is for soca to go into Africa, and we need to start doing carnivals in Africa. So like we need to go to the carnival in Ghana, we need to go to the carnival in Nigeria, where the carnival done by 8 p.m. and then the few selected people get to go to the minister's house and you sit down and you talk to him about your costume. So it's doing it like that. And there's other carnivals in Africa as well that I can't remember right now, forgive me. But it's because we've done America, we've done the Caribbean, but let's bring it back to the essence. Let's now bring it home. Let's now connect the diaspora on a global scale. And that is why I do my podcast. So it's like, let's now have everybody, America, Europe, UK, the Caribbean, motherland Africa, to say, yes, let's come here and appreciate what this is here for the essence here, and it can be done. And it is happening. We're seeing people now doing their version of Carnival in Sierra Leone. We're seeing people doing it in Ghana, Nigeria, and there's one other Southern African country, I can't remember the name now, that has a carnival. And there's more to come. So that's for me, that is my next step, is to have it reach the continent. And where we're like, and this is the norm, this is the place to be. Just like how everybody is excited to go to Ghana in December or Nigeria in December, or just Africa in general in December, we need to find another month in the year where we'll all go, because we can't all go in December all the time. You understand? So that is the next step for me. That's my long term, that's my dream, my vision, to say, yeah, we've done it, or we've begun that journey, and we've really helped to elevate it, and I've been a part of it, and I've helped it, and we can say, yes, now the next generation coming through now, you can see how everything ties in. So that's it.
Wow.
I feel, literally, I knew like 80% of everything you said today, but just hearing the passion come from somebody else, it's just like, I even feel more inspired. I'm like, okay, when I go home, I'm gonna plan for my radio show, I'm gonna say this because you know, it's sometimes like, especially I'll speak about the radio station I work at, you obviously want to spread the culture and you want to say what you want to say, but you also want to be aware of, okay, well, if there's somebody who's, I don't know, Nigerian listening in for the first time, are they gonna catch a vibe to the show? And now I'm just thinking, let me just be outwardly in the culture, outwardly Montserratians, half Guyanese, like I'm just gonna be like full force with it, because you know what it is, it's not even about like, I wouldn't say pandering is the right word, but you know how some people like to make your things palatable. I'm just now thinking like, you're actually right, education is where it starts. So like,
and you can make it palatable while still keeping it authentic,
keeping it real,
while still making so for example, I love the fact that we're getting more and more Afro soca. And that's what I've been saying. I've had these conversations on Twitter where I'm saying we need to now make the music connect with the Africans on the continent. And they already like the soca as it is. They do like it. But you have to remember, when you have people like Fela Kuti, Bob Marley, Machel Montano, Lord Sparrow, Kitchener, Calypso Rose, and Lady something, she just passed away too. She's
Singing Sandra,
thank you. You have to remember, it's Calypso. So what they're used to hearing is Calypso. Like if you play Calypso now in Africa, they boom. And that's why the Africans relate to it. So like the Congolese, the Ivorians, when you play and some of the soca you hear is actually African, it's Afrobeats. Like the kuduro, the drum pattern, it's actually...
Yeah, it's very similar.
Like with things like Zouk and Zouk.
Yeah. Exactly. The Haitians and the Congolese, all of that French, that Francophone touch to it is very important. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, when you do more the music like that now, and you say to people, yeah, you can bring your Nigerian flag to Carnival, put it in the air. Say, yes, I'm Nigerian and I love this music because it's me.
But we were saying that as well when we had this conversation, and there was a Clubhouse chat and they were saying about Africans in Carnival, and someone had the cheek to basically say they don't agree with like the flags, the African flags in Carnival. So and it's just like, I just think that's just tedious. Why not?
Because I would rather you, and this is what I don't like, when I'm in Carnival and I know you're from Ghana and you've got a Grenadian flag on, and then you're doing the most, and you're doing the most in the wrong way, but you have a Grenada flag and you're from Ghana. Yeah. No.
Show your flag.
Show your flag.
Exactly.
Yeah. Show your flag. I want everybody to bring their flag. Just like how the Polish people or the British people would bring their flag and say, I'm British, but I like this music.
Well, I mean, sorry, can I just say that I see a lot of English white people or whatever with like a Jamaican key ring.
It's always...
Because they've been on holiday to Jamaica.
No, but I get that, but I just think I just think it's
unnecessary.
But you know, with the African people wearing their flags, I think why not? Again, like you said, it originates from Africa, everything, and then they were all black. I just think as long as you're respecting the culture, you understand it, you respect the soca, you love, like, you're dancing, you're having a good time. Yeah, wear your flag. Why not? We're all black at the end of the day. And that's it. But I don't, that thing about, Africans wearing their flag, I just thought, you lot just splitting hairs now.
Yeah.
Please wear rep your
country
flag.
And show us that the music, the culture is connecting with you and you can resonate with it. Because when I am loving Afrobeat and listening to it from 2007 with Olu Maintain, Style Plus and all of them guys, the band, all them guys, I never once not wore my Jamaican stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm fortunate enough to have parents that are Afrocentric. So my first name is African, my middle name is African, my other middle name is African. I've been wearing African print clothing since I was living in Jamaica. My mom would come and bring it from England to Jamaica. So it's an upbringing, it's an appreciation, and then it's also living in that and cultivating. Because a lot of people, again, they grew up in that environment, but then when they have their own mind, own freedom of choice, they divert from the culture, which is fine, but still have that reverence and that appreciation for it. And we want, again, everybody that is African to come and experience the culture. Come in your flag. You can come in your culture, your country's traditional wear as well.
Yeah.
That's why when I see the Ghanaians on the road in Notting Hill, I'm happy to see them in their kente.
Yeah.
Because when I went to St. Lucia Carnival 2019, the mass band that won Band of the Year, it was all older folks, and they were in the traditional Lucian attire, the madras, which is basically a replication of the kente.
Yeah.
So if they are winning in 2019 Band of the Year in traditional wear, why do we have so many skimpy costumes?
Yeah, true. And you know what, can I say as well, I feel like us Caribbean people, we don't make it any better, because like I see on social media and I see, you know, like debates or little comments and stuff, and you'd say to a Caribbean person, oh, you're African, whatever, you're originally African, they get so mad. But say to them, mention their great granny that might be Indian or Chinese, they are jumping on that and I personally don't like, I'm just like to myself, hello, when you go to the Caribbean, I feel like the Indians and some of the Chinese people, they're like modern day colonizers almost. They are. The way they come in, they buy everything, they don't respect us, they're racist, they're horrible. But yet you're so quick to claim it and jump on it. But say to us, should I say, you know, oh, your ancestors are African. I'm not African. Why would I be African? But say your ancestors are Indian or Chinese, all of a sudden you've got a China flag in or Indian flag in your bio, and you're all, you know, forcing it. And it's just like, we ourselves are a bit lost, and we need to kind of unify, like you said. So if you do see an African person with their flag, that should be at least your worries.
Yeah, 100%.
But you wouldn't have a problem if you saw a white person with a Jamaican flag. To us, especially Notting Hill, because we're more diverse here, is every culture's a welcome. We're all it's all a melting pot. Everyone should be welcome. But as I said, you have an African person doing their thing, and it's not allowed.
I want more of them.
And then, you know, but that's the problem, you know, that stuff's deep rooted, isn't it?
It is, and it's
going to take a couple generations to like clear out that.
Yeah, and it's happening. It's happening because when you look at it on the reverse. So as somebody who has traveled, who's cultured, and I've seen, for example, the rise in Afrobeats, both here in the UK, which the UK is so powerful and beautiful at uplifting genres, especially from the African continent, because again, is the UK really make Afrobeats go global, you know, or contributed significantly to Afrobeats really going global? Because from the dancing, which is an important aspect of the movement of any genre, of any culture, of any being, of any entity, in a creative force, the dancing is important. See, with Afrobeats, and it crosses over to America, and then even in Jamaica, you know, you're no longer just hearing "You Are My African Queen."
Yeah,
I love the time.
Big up Two-Face, big song, legend, wicked song. But my goodness, even I was getting bored of it, and I knew 10 other songs that were big too, and it's like, play these other songs too.
Yeah, they do.
Now you're in a space where you're hearing Jamaicans listen to Afrobeats, they're listening to drill, they're listening to the UK stuff, not just hip hop and R&B, and they're listening to the soca now. Now soca plays regular daytime radio programming in Jamaica. That says a lot. That says a lot for soca to come through like that in Jamaica.
Yeah,
because the rest of the Caribbean has always loved reggae and dancehall. They've always loved it, and they've always championed it. But Jamaica's always only just held on to reggae and dancehall. Yeah. And they like calypso, and they don't really, you know, even when the artists try to do the collaborative things, it's never really taken off like that, and now it's getting that traction. So,
do you know? So do you know what I want to ask you actually? Wow, we've only got like 5 minutes left, but I want to ask you, as you are like Jamaican yourself, and born, or you can hear it, born, bred, everything. One thing I always find is, I have like Jamaican friends, for example, who are like born here, their mums are born here, but they're so like disrespectful to the small, like our island, like smaller islands, and treat us if we're like, you know, you will have conversation with them and they'll be like, you small island people, or like your rubbish music, and it's like, I want to know just like your opinion and like what you think about it.
So for me, I think that's the same topic as when we're disregarding or trying to push out the African summits from partaking in culture that is theirs.
Yeah.
As much as it's ours, as much as Afro-Caribbeans or Caribbeans, which are West Indians, if you want to, or if you're more, or if you have more Indian in you than you have black in you, then you can say West Indian. I don't say the term West Indian, and no offense to anybody that does. That's fine. But that's just another form of classism and fighting down. Jamaica's a little bit bigger, but every island has significance. Yes, Jamaica just whether it's fortunately or unfortunately has been the island that has gotten the most appreciation for their dialect, their culture, their way of being. And I think because we have the easiest palette, as you mentioned earlier, when it comes to expressing the English language back with the twang of our ancestors, whereas you compare us to Trinidad, Barbados, Antigua, other islands where it's more sing-songy. Even up to yesterday, I was in a cab and the African man was saying he has a friend who's from one of the islands where it's sing-songy, and I reeled off 5 islands except for Trinidad. I purposely waited for Trinidad, and I said, "Is you from Trinidad?" He's like, "Yes, it's Trinidad. Them sing-song." I'm like, "Why you don't know the name or no? This is your friend. Why you don't know his name or no?"
Because they just think we're all just one.
When you say
group.
sing-song, and then that's the problem now, because and that's what now annoys me, because as a Jamaican, that's again, it's all about your upbringing. It's all about you. It's upbringing, and it's also how you view yourself and how you view your people. If you are brought up to appreciate your history, your culture, your heritage in a positive way, and then you are also allowed to meet friends who also have that same upbringing, and you come together and say, we're one Caribbean, great. But there are going to be people who don't feel like that, who feel like them is the nicest thing since sliced bread.
It's ignorance.
And even in Jamaica, it's the classism. Oh, you're Mr. Brown. Oh, Mr. Chin. Oh, Mr. Indian. Oh, you're dark as. Oh, you're fat. Excuse me. All these kind of things, and it's like, it's foolishness. I don't have time for that. Yes, Jamaica has done amazing things, and we've been given the beacon of spearheading the Caribbean culture, but all the other islands are significant. And even when you go back to things like Windrush, yes, it was predominantly Jamaicans on the boat, but it wasn't just Jamaicans.
Yeah.
The Bayesian community here is very prominent, especially in terms of the civil rights movement, especially in Bristol. Even in places like Reading, the majority Caribbean diaspora in Reading is on Bajans. It's Bajans run Reading. When you go to places like High Wycombe, it's people from St. Vincent and the Grenadines that run High Wycombe. They're the highest population. In London now, Jamaicans are mostly here. Guyanese are mostly here. There's a lot of St. Lucians here. A lot of Antiguans here. A lot of Trinis here. But because Jamaica just has, I don't know, again, it's the music. I think it's the fortunateness, so to speak, of reggae just taking off how it did. Why it's like, oh yeah, and then obviously Bob Marley was champion Jamaica, champion it, the food, going on holidays. Again, patois was the Jamaican patois that was used in the World War when they were speaking. People were using for the most part the Jamaican patois to try and trick out, so you can't, so the enemy couldn't understand what the instructions were. All kind of things like that is why Jamaica has the podium it has, and some people, it get to them head. Some people don't care about it, and some people, they say, you know what, that's great, but we's all one people, and you can't help that. Because I see it all the time on Twitter too, people saying, oh, Jamaicans are saying, oh, why not claim this? And sometimes, no, remind people that, hey, no, like for example, they see with Mr. Killer all the time, or very often. Somebody who doesn't know where Mr. Killer is from, but sees him dance, and he does his little spin trick and daggers the girl on the floor. They're so used to seeing that publicized as Jamaican culture that they don't know that this man is from Grenada and that's what they do. But again, it's just that Jamaican culture has been so popularized, and I would say just our size, our ecosystem, our everything is a little bit better than some other islands, but it doesn't matter. We're all amazing people, we're all great people, and it's the same culture. It's just like, okay, you might eat your saltfish with a little bit more ground provision than me, and you might cook it down in something else a little bit different from me, but it's all the same food. So we're all the same one people. So if you're going to sit down there and say, oh, I'm Jamaican, I'm better than you, or I'm Bajan, I'm better than you, because when we came here from Barbados, we were the most educated and we got the high paying jobs, and Un was just the laborers and we're the best musicians because we was Trini and Sparrow come here and Sparrow perform for the Queen, and pointless arguments, or we use the Guyanese and we do this, we do pointless arguments.
Very pointless.
Don't care. All that matters right now is oneness, living together, and ensuring that we stick together. Like, and I think because Jamaicans are seen, or we're seen as the rude boys and the most, because if you remember, or if you ask your older generation, so like when my mom's cousin came here, so my uncle basically, he came here when it was the skinheads and the rednecks and the teddy boys, and it was his generation, the rude boys and the raggers, and that were having to defend everybody. And obviously because it's the bigger, because Jamaica was the bigger amount of people on the ship, it's mostly Jamaicans going to be defending it, and we have that rude boy mentality from before, from long time. I don't know if some people like to say that it's something to do with the box cycle. We have a very toxic, very acidic mentality sometimes, and we not take disrespect, and we not take bad up. It comes through in our music more and more and more. So when the racial tensions are arising, if we're not in Notting Hill, we're in the south of London where it's mostly Jamaicans,
but there was other islands as well. It's like you said, there was a big load of Jamaicans. Exactly. So it's like, it looks like it's Jamaicans, but there was other islands that were fighting as well. But it's just we're on a smaller mass.
Even in Hackney is like Little Montserrat. Like you can go around London and you won't see that many Montserratian people, but if you go to Hackney, everybody, you might not be fully Montserratian, you might be half or whatever. There's a lot of Montserratians in Hackney. Like,
and that's the same thing with the Jamaican thing. Yeah. Because a lot of people are half Jamaican and there's something else, but they only say they're Jamaican. And I'm like, yo, say you're Bajan, say you're from Suriname.
Well, I've noticed in my generation more, because soca is becoming more fashionable. Basically, the other islands are becoming a little bit more fashionable. I don't know what's happened over the past few years, but people are a little bit more drawing towards us, should I say. So people I went to school with who were just Jamaican are now only half Jamaican and half Trini or half St. Lucian or half Jamaican. And I'm like, but all my life, when I was young, you only used to claim you was Jamaican, and now all of a sudden, or you've got cousins and family who are from other islands, and you're embracing it because we're now a bit fashionable, or it doesn't look bad when it never did look bad before. I didn't see what was bad.
And even to touch on with the Africans, when I came to this country in primary school, there was like a small handful of the Africans that would wholeheartedly tell you, I am African. My mom's there, was born there. My mom was born there. My dad was born there. And I'm proud African. I'm Nigerian, or I'm Ghanaian, I'm from Sierra Leone. There was never, but the majority of them were now, those days were saying, oh, I'm half Jamaican and this, I'm half that and that. No, oh no, I'm fully Ghanaian, I'm fully this. I'm like, since when? But that's fine. That's cool. But let's just appreciate each other. Let's just appreciate each other's the minute differences, but the majority is similarities, and let's just embrace and love each other, because because at the end of the day, when the tensions were flaring, nobody don't care if you're from Barbados or you're from Montserrat.
They don't care.
They're not going to stop and be like, oh, sorry, before I say this.
Are you from this island?
The question is, you're backing the beef or you're not backing the beef, because whether you're dead or live is all one thing. So know what you're doing. So it's great. And obviously, again, it's just because Jamaica has the bigger population, as it affects, it has a ripple on effect, because there's no, for example, Montserratian restaurants in the UK. None in London. No. So when you see a Caribbean takeaway, it's going to be Jamaican, or it might be, it will be a mixture, but there might be one dish from Barbados, or one dish from Trinidad, or one dish from St.
Or they'll have the odd Trini shop.
Yeah,
like a little roti shop.
They'll have a roti shop.
The odd Guyanese shop, the odd Bajan shop. Yeah. Because those are the bigger masses. Yeah. And those are people that pull together and say, all right, we're going to represent our culture. Because back in the day, even where we are now, didn't have many Jamaican takeaways. You only had one. Now you have too much, almost, so to speak. You have definitely too much, and then, but is it really too much now? Because now they're turning everywhere into food spots, like mini food havens. You just buy food all the time, which is great, because we don't need no more KFC or McDonald's. So that's cool.
Well, and also just another thing as well, all the like the Rum Kitchens and the Turtle Bays and the, what's the other one? I think Cotton's is black owned.
I can't believe there is.
I don't think
Cotton's
it is.
Is not.
Is it not anymore? Because it was
the name Cotton's.
And the name Cotton's is, that's something that I just saw recently on social media. And when I went to Cotton's, I didn't really clock on to the name like that.
Cotton.
Did you just?
Yeah.
I just clocked it.
I've never been.
Yeah.
I've never been.
I enjoyed it when I went. But it's like now, for example, I see a lot of people, like when they go to the Caribbean now, what they're doing is they're going to these establishments that have the slave-like names like plantation and cottons or whatever, and say to them, listen, you need to change your name.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not talking about 1 and 2 tourists. I'm talking about it's carnival season and it's your whole tourist set of people complaining about the name of the establishment. The name got changed in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Everybody went home that day. Name, don't come back till the name change.
Yeah.
Name change of the venue.
That's what I'm saying.
So,
it's just funny to see. Sorry, that all those companies are. Like, I went Turtle Bay not long ago. Oh my, the mac and cheese. I just thought, you know what? It's always 2 for 1 cocktails. You go whatever. The cocktails were horrible. The food was atrocious. I said this is not Caribbean cuisine. Obviously, it's not Caribbean establishment. But again, they're making the most money and capitalizing the most. Yeah. But it's like we as people would need to like come together with it and make our own massive establishment or chain instead of these small little takeaway shops with whatever. Make a big one that we can all eat at and thingy.
That's what I said.
Turtle Bay was.
So name some establishments that you want to shout out before we wrap up. Name them that you like and that you enjoy.
Oh, Woolworth Road. There's a 24-hour Caribbean shop.
Aussies?
Yeah, they're so nice in there. Always nice service, and they always have food. Always have food. I've been there every time of the day, and they always have food. That's one place I like shout out.
I have to say, not anyone, a lot of people who are from where I'm from in North London, Tottenham, there is not a lot of good Caribbean takeaway shops there. Like, it's a well-known fact, there's not a lot. So I have to big up my family members that sell food on the side. So if you are on Instagram, go on Sandra's Kitchen, because sometimes it's just an individual person that just shuts down the kitchen way better than some of these takeaway shops. So yeah, big up Sandra. And obviously you have to shout out Nanny's Food, because come on now, I would sell that. Like, and Cultures Catering, that is my best friend's dad. He is a chef. He like private chef, so again, he doesn't have a shop, but Cultures Catering on Instagram, pick him up.
Nice. I'm gonna shout out Rudy's Kitchen. I'm gonna shout out Atlantic Bakery, and I'm gonna shout out for the vegan them Eater Eden.
Oh,
forgot about the vegan people. Them.
Sorry,
vegan people.
In it. Well,
we could actually talk all night, but we have
to
wrap this up.
We have to. Yeah, that was so insightful. Like I'm like, God, I can't speak right now. That was very insightful.
Yeah,
and put a whole different perspective on like the culture, which your mind kind of slips on. I mean, we always think about it. Like, I think about my ancestors a lot, like unconsciously. But sometimes to see it on a deeper level and think of it on a deeper level like that, I got some research. I got some research to do.
That's why the name's influential. Come on.
There we go, sir.
Honestly.
And yeah, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. Honestly, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
And we're excited to see your new ventures as well. And also
tune in to the Friday Fete, No Signal, the podcast, Flag 365.
Yes. Attend the events too.
Yep.
As well.
Don't forget Back on them Brushes, July the 17th.
Oh, I'll be DJing there as well.
Yep.
Oh, you kept that quiet.
Nice.
Wicked.
Thanks for having me. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. It was good to see the woman them come out and speak on things and that matter to them. We need to see more of this. I like this. So
wicked.
What's your